So another week and another episode of Rebel City Podcast in isolation. This week we managed to successfully do a Skype video call with no technical hitches, which is outstanding because every week seems to have had some sort of tech support issue since we started doing the remote podcasts. But we're looking to get some guests in, so hopefully we'll have a couple of guests in the next couple of weeks for just to sort of look forward to. This week we get in about me thinking that I had COVID-19 symptoms last week and how I dealt with that sort of mentally. It was a bit of a strange week for me, actually. If anybody can hear that, that's my cat vomiting in the background. I'll just leave that in. But we spoke about my COVID-19 symptoms, and we did a wee bit of sort of COVID chat. But to try and sort of take away from that usual COVID-19 and the critique of the government, we spoke about a couple other things. We spoke about the potential assassination attempt on the Venezuelan Prime Minister or President Maduro by some American and Venezuelan mercenaries, which was an interesting story for us to talk about. We spoke about Michael Gove's bookshelf, which was like an alt-right sort of porn gallery. We also spoke about people waiting 40 minutes in a queue for a Costa coffee and sort of the implications of potentially going back to normal life or trying to get back to normal life earlier. These podcasts are literally saving my life right now, as we're coming what looks like to the end of lockdown, but we have a wee sort of bit at the end where we tell each other that we miss each other, which is lovely. But any listen, like or share on the podcast is always appreciated. Thanks very much for the support that we've been getting in these new style of podcasts so far, and I hope you enjoyed the episode.
I don't need to be unhappy with a life to call my own.
Usually it's tech support central, mate.
Well, we are 2 hours late. I mean,
not quite.
That was on me.
Not quite, mate. Not quite. Anyway, how's your week been?
It's been ups and downs like everybody else. I found it sort of mentally quite tough this week to kind of keep plodding on. It's all, the monotony and stuff has really started to get at me a wee bit. But at the same time, it is really important, and this perspective has been something that I've used to kind of manage myself quite a lot this week, because you don't have to look far to see that there are people out there with significantly worse. And I think that's kind of something that you're used to when you deal with your mental health, is that you look around and you see other people suffering with stuff and you feel guilty that you feel shite when maybe your experience is lesser than theirs, and kind of felt a bit like that, that wee bit of kind of feedback loop where you're feeling shit and then you feel shit for feeling shit, and it kind of feeds into itself for a few days. But I got out in the garden when the sun got out, got some exercise, some fresh air, blared some Rage Against the Machine, and I dusted the cobwebs off for another few days.
Well, that's it, mate. I mean, I think, like, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. And I think during times like these, fucking a couple of days where it's up and down, like you're saying, and then you dust the cobwebs off a wee bit, then absolutely fucking go for it. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. Other than that, it's been all right. There's still a lot of health in my wider family. There's not been any major scares. A cousin of mine's had a wee bit of a scare with an asthma attack that thankfully peaked at an asthma attack.
Right.
So there is definitely an importance to having that perspective.
Aye, for sure, mate. I mean, for me, like, as we've been talking in the lead up to this episode,
yep.
I've been sick the last week, and I've found it really, really strange, man, because normally, like, sickness is something that I can kind of take in my stride, and I know that I've got ways of dealing with if I'm not feeling great, but just with the symptoms that I had, like I woke up with a pumping sore head, maybe about, what day is this? Wednesday?
I think so.
Was it Wednesday the day? Tuesday last week I woke up and I had like a blinding sore head, and that lasted maybe for like 2 days. But then on the Thursday or the Friday, I sweat through 2 t-shirts, and I started to get like pretty fucking anxious about what was going on. And that's the first time I've really experienced that. I mean, when I was a teenager, I took migraines, and I can remember doing that thing where every wee thing that looked or felt like a migraine, I'd be like, oh no, fucking migraine. And that sort of gets in your head a wee bit. But when you're a teenager, you know what it's like. It's water off a fucking duck's back. Do you know what I mean? You don't really give a fuck. This is the first time that I've ever sat and body watched, and I think I did that for like 2 days. Once the sweat started, then I woke up on the Saturday and I felt like somebody was like sitting on my chest. And that lasted for like 2 days, so it was like sort of like a new symptom and a new thing that added on to how I wasn't feeling well. And it lasted for 2 days and then just kind of went away. But honestly, mate, I've never ever thought about dying the way that I thought about it last week. And it wasn't like a negative. It wasn't really even a negative way I was looking at it. It was just more like, I know this might sound dramatic and people might listen and be like, oh, for fuck's sake, calm down. But I genuinely was like that to myself. There's a possibility that this could be COVID, and if it is COVID, then there's like a 20% chance that it could be fatal. And it's, do you know what? I'm going to say, fuck it, it's my pod, it's our podcast, you know what I mean? Say what we fucking want. I felt like comfortable. I felt like just, well, do you know what? See if it is, there's nothing that you can do about it. You've already got it. Whatever happens from here is going to happen, regardless of whether or no you sit here and tortured yourself. If it's going to last for 2 weeks and you maybe no get hospitalised, then that's going to happen. If you end up going to hospital, that's going to happen. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit here and torture myself, or the fact that I've got a tight chest and a sweat on, or am I going to just let it fucking play out whatever way it's going to play out? And that was genuinely the sort of mindset I had to get myself in, to get myself out of the anxiety. It was just like, whatever's going to fucking happen is going to happen. And there's so many thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that have experienced this. Hundreds of thousands of people around the planet have experienced this. The vast majority of them are going to recover. So let's just take a fucking chill pill and stop waking up in the middle of the night going, oh, am I breathing all right? And I was like analysing every breath. It was like, I was going, is this a normal breath? And then I was freaking myself out and going, this is definitely no normal. But then 5 minutes later I was going, feels normal again. Do you know what I mean? So it was like it was a weird sort of fucking 72 hours that I went through where I had like a gradual sort of build up of like, I'm not feeling great, to I'm sweating, and then I had like 24 hours of just pure raw anxiety that I've not experienced for years and years.
I can get where you're coming from in a lot of respects. Like, I think when we went through the early weeks of this, there was, I think, the second or third episode in lockdown where I'd mentioned that, you know, in the first week that Stacey had shown symptoms and that our gran had also shown symptoms, and there was, as you say, that 24-hour period where, given the nature of everything that's going on about it, it does get really intense, and I think it's natural for a lot of folk for their minds to go to, you know, the what-if scenario, because, you know, it's not illegitimate to consider it, you know, during this particular sort of type of scenario. But again, there was a kind of acceptance in it that I think when I spoke to you about Stacey's symptoms, I was like, it's no COVID until somebody tells us it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're not even, it's just a cough, it's just a temperature. So I think, there's also a need to maybe minimise it in a lot of respects, because, you know, you don't want to work yourself up into a frenzy for a fever to break the next morning. There is going to be a level of like reality to how you react to it as well, I think, considering how widely it's likely to infect us. And, you know, people have all sorts of symptoms, like you say. Thankfully, you know what I mean, you've had 6 or 7 really uncomfortable days and been able to get back to some sort of normal reality, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen loads of people complaining. I just had this idea in my head, this 2-week thing, that if you were lucky enough to get through the 2 weeks, you were good. But there is people that are having really like prolonged symptoms and stuff like that, like 4 to 6 weeks and stuff, which, I don't know, was something I didn't consider either, you know what I mean? So there's maybe going to need to be a a resilience once and if these symptoms show to know just you're going to go to the dark place and stay there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think it just goes to show and reiterates that nobody really knows what the fuck is going on with this thing. The WHO and governments from the world are really just putting their finger in the air and hoping that the wind blows the right way for them, because I mean, it took them like 6 weeks to tell us that potentially a symptom is that you lose your sense of smell and your sense of taste. Now they're saying that there's like a rash that comes out on your feet, that was on the BBC the other day, and like it's ever changing. I think that's something as well that really kind of like freaked me out a wee bit, because I was like, I've got a sore head. This is nothing to be worried about. Like, you've got a headache, whatever. I'd slept with the window open. The sunshine had went away. The rain had came. It sort of coincided with that. It might have just been that, the change in the weather, as my mum would say. It's just a change in the weather. Do you know what I mean? But that coincided, but it was when I started to really get a fever, and then I spoke to somebody that has had it, and when I said to them, like, I started out with a sore head and blah blah, they said to me, that's how mine started, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I had to like disconnect myself away from stuff as well. I was getting annoyed at the images of people that are on the social distancing. I was starting to get a wee bit sort of like, I don't know, like a wee bit just caught in my own head. But I'll tell you what, like, it's a good experience. As somebody that's had a mental health episode and has recovered for it in the best way that I knew how and the best way that I could, these things are like, they're good wee tests, I think, like, to just sort of reiterate to yourself, like, I can cope, like, I'm all right. Like, if I can cope with sitting for 24 hours and thinking I've got a deadly fucking disease or a deadly virus, I can cope with anything on this. But it was a good wee exercise for myself to really just sort of go, I need to go out my own head here. That's what all the practice is about, isn't it? Like that's what,
definitely.
That's what it's supposed to be, is so that we don't, or when crisis hits, like, we don't get caught up in our own thinking and catastrophising everything. But that was my week anyway, mate.
It's part of the process I use, as I was saying to you earlier on the day before this, was distance. You know, what I use to manage myself was initially about getting a wee bit of distance for what I don't want to deal with, like people's around about me coming down with symptoms. But that distance is to give you enough time and space to then come to accept whatever's going on, so that you can deal with it in the right manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Did you see? I mean, this is very recent. I know we try and cover as recent as possible, but Sir Keir, I mean, we've been talking about him the last couple of weeks, in terms of his lack of opposition to the government and blah blah blah. Other than his consensus, I mean, he was out the other day saying that to try and help the UK recover for this economically, we need like a national consensus, so like a cross-party thing, which I mean, me and you have spoke about that already, saying that, but he absolutely tore Boris to shreds today, and Prime Minister's questions. What was hilarious was, and I think everybody's commenting on this, so it's not like I'm saying that this is my observation, this is like a common observation that's happening, is that when the Tories don't have their rabble behind them, like their hears and their way and their claps, they don't have any conviction behind what they're saying. So he's looking for his positive reinforcement, and it's not coming, which was a weird. So like the comparison of like football teams having to play in front of a crowd and them saying, oh, it's atmosphereless and blah blah blah. Well, Boris had to answer questions in front of a crowd, and he did not look comfortable at all, mate.
No fridges about.
Oh, he tried to hide. There was a photo of him that popped up after Prime Minister's questions, where it showed you him sort of hanging about the periphery with his bit of paper, and somebody saying he literally had to be shoved in to get answer questions. But the main sort of question that was trending on BBC and stuff was that Keir Starmer had asked him that 20,000 was the upper limit. Like, that's what we were told back in February, March time, that 20,000 is the worst case scenario. We've now passed that. We've got the worst death rate in Europe and the second highest death rate next to fucking the Chuckle Brothers there in fucking America that have totally fucking fucked this up big time. But his question was, how have we got here? And Boris's response was, this isn't the time to be comparing ourselves to other like international figures. We don't have the data and it's inappropriate. But
and
then
hopefully he rinsed them with that whole apparent successes nonsense.
He did. He did. They said or apparent a comment about the apparent success when it's been a mitigated disaster, something like that. He'd said it'd been a failure. But then Starmer rightfully stood up and held up the graph that we've been seeing in every press conference every day, where it shows you the trajectory of people, the deaths, and the rate of infection. To say that, well, if you want to stand up and use these as like a point of comparison when we're not as bad as other places, now when we're worse, you want to just be able to brush that one, sweep that one under the carpet. It was good to see an actual opposition. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, and I mean, now is the time, like, and you're never going to get a bigger open goal than this mob at the minute, and some of the shit they're trying to pull is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I never quite caught Prime Minister's questions, but I would have thought that if he's going to go and say that it's no cool to measure ourselves against other countries, he shouldn't have come out on his first day back and went, look at how much other countries look to our example. You know what I mean? It's the exact, it was his opening gambit. Is that why many countries look at our apparent successes, and you're like, what the fuck? But then I can't remember who I've seen online make the point, and it's like, don't be surprised by Boris Johnson lies, because people willfully elected a liar. You know what I mean? So how can you trust anything that he's got to say? I think somebody who has the education and background of Starmer should, like, just outright just make mincemeat him. You know what I mean? There's a difference between being a columnist for the Tory Graph and being like a QC in terms of argumentative skills. So I think there's a real chance to take that waffle and that sort of pomp that he tries to pass off and is, you know, backed up by his cronies when they're in the chambers, like, to really just dismantle him bit by bit by bit, because, you know, he's there for the taking. I completely agree with you, and hope that as much as I've got a bit of a distaste in my mouth when it comes to is that the right saying? But when it comes to Keir Starmer, no distaste in my mouth. But he's had a rough start, but at the same time, and you know, some of what's went on hasn't looked great, especially as this, you know, leaked report thing seems to be getting sat on. But at the same time, if he goes up through the gears and actually holds the government to account, then he can put a rough couple of weeks beginning behind him. You know what I mean? Like, we're not saying that because he's had a rough couple of weeks, like, he's done. You know what I mean? Like, because again, that's kind of how Labour leaders have been undermined and written off in the British media, you know, with bacon sandwiches and fucking threats of like communism and shit. But, you know, if he actually goes up through the gears here and systematically dismantles somebody like Johnson on a week by week basis, then all bets are off and he gets a fair crack at the whip. You know what I mean?
I hope that it's a sign of things to come. I'll be honest, because it was in comparison to somebody like Corbyn, it was his, and I suppose there might be a certain section of the Labour vote that disagrees that this is a positive, but it was his lack of emotion. He had like a sort of composure and a calmness about the argument that he was making, that, like you're saying, was more reminiscent to an actual lawyer stating a case, like a well-researched sort of like argument against something, and he wouldn't let it drop as well. He kept coming back with the same sort of thing, which is something
and that's
that I
what
think
you'd expect a lawyer today. He's actually like almost like a comedian set him up for the punchline by saying, well, you know, what about other countries? And he's went, well, there's no the time to talk about other countries. And here's your graph comparing us to other countries. You know what I mean? Like, so there's been a pure, he's baited the hook there, you know what I mean? So that's exactly what you would expect from a lawyer and, you know, a politician who's going to hopefully hold this government to account a bit better than has been the case so far. Yeah, and another question that was asked, and I'm ashamed to say that I don't know the MP that asked the question, so I'm just going to go and have a wee look at that, because I did look at the hashtag for PMQs, but one of the MPs asked the question about, and I'll see if I can find it, but she asked the question about, will we follow Denmark's lead
and that if businesses want a bailout, that they're not allowed to pay dividends on their shares and stocks for however long, and that they're not allowed to be based in a tax haven. And I mean, I know that during the sort of Panama Papers time that David Cameron had a few awkward questions that get asked to him.
Around stuff hidden in his dad's name.
Yeah, but I don't remember any other time that an MP has come out and directly asked a question about, like, will we draw a line in the sand as far as, like, businesses getting bailouts and then not paying their tax by, like, hiding their headquarters or whatever it is. I can't find it. I'm sure we'll fucking.
I'm with you anyway.
We'll find it, but that type of stuff. This is encouraging. This is really encouraging me. I'm hoping that this is a sign of things to come. I'm not going to, like, hold my breath on it. I'm not going to be like, oh yes, this is it. Like, this is Starmer's. Labour is going to be the one that sort of takes the power back, or that wins is over, or whatever like that. But just today, like, it's a sunny day. I'm just over sickness. I'm feeling good, and I watched PMQs and felt like, right, that's something that I can get on fucking board with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm totally with you in that respect. Like,
if it was Tony Blair without Iraq, would you take it?
If the option was this or Tony Blair minus Iraq.
No, like, if he turns out to be Tony Blair, but without the Iraq war, so let's just say that he turns out to be like a Blairite, but he's no a warmonger, or he's not going to get corralled by Donald Trump or whoever the next president is to run to a war in the Middle East. Like, would you accept that?
I think we'd probably also need to, like, draw a line under their complicity in the 2008 financial crash and how they managed the economy, and how, you know, that led to, you know, the boom and bust that fucked us in the end. Like, so they were more than. There was some good stuff, particularly in the early days. PFI proved not to be ideal, particularly in some Scottish areas. But nah, I don't know, man. Like, probably anything's better than this right now.
Aye, that's exactly what I had a conversation earlier with somebody about it. I keep on fucking locking my phone out of habit, and I'm trying to see the bits that I was want to talk about. But I was talking to somebody about that earlier on as well, dude, and that's and it's shite to say that, isn't it? That is, like, where we are, is that anything's better than what we've got. Like, we'll take anything. Like,
I was actually thinking that what we should do at the end of this, once we come out with this, is take all the individual wee sections we did about mistakes the Tories have made and put them out in the wee individual bits and just actually do a series on them, because the amount of them is getting silly now. You know what I mean?
That's a great idea, mate.
Look at, you know, last week's Panorama. I mean, some of the figures in that were absolutely just fucking staggering. I mean, they've been planning for 15 years for pandemic. Everybody in the world has known for the last 15 years that the next big one they all need to be ready for is a pandemic. When it hit, we didn't have gowns, we didn't have swabs, we didn't have visors. They've been slow in ordering them. They've been preferential to people. They've got previous relationships ahead of, you know, other governments. They, even when they realised that they didn't have enough PPE, they downgraded COVID-19 to basically worm out of the legal requirement to have PPE. They've bought 33 million breathers, 12 million of which are in circulation. They refuse to answer questions on where the rest are. I mean, that's getting like 1 in 2 people in the UK a breather. Like, half of them are missing. Like, there was so many, and like Panorama really did an amazing job on it. Like, so, you know, that alone should be a national scandal before we go into potentially fake nurses, before we, you know, go into, like, you know, just some of the, you know, bullshit that's already happened. Like, test and trace, you know, saying it is that they had 100,000 tests a day achieved, and all the fanfare, and there was people pure rubbing it in Piers Morgan's face for doubting them, and it turns out that they had to fudge the numbers by including stuff that was out in the mail. Like, they've then subsequently missed the target on, you know, consecutive days.
Aye, man.
Like, and now we're heading into an area where data is becoming the issue, because they're going to take guys like Cummings and give them access to people's sensitive health data all across the country. I mean, you're like, how do we trust these guys?
We spoke on a very, very early episode of the podcast about the potential for your health data, and I think we did maybe like 10-15 minutes on it, and we were talking about stuff like they could void your insurance because they could put disclaimers. So your iPhone will tell your insurance company that you've actually got something wrong with your heart. You've got like maybe like an irregular beat to your heart that's been missed because it's low level, and they could then feed that into your insurance company. This is more American centric, but then they could then void your insurance and look wee disclaimers. So that's just an example of what can be done with your data. I think we actually spoke about data as like a wider thing and how it was worth like every individual's data is potentially worth in the market like 2 million quid, and we get away for free to Facebook because we want free access to social media. I think that's the way that we were talking about it. To think about somebody like Cummings is get access, or that type of people have got access to your personal, not only just your health data, but where you've been, who you've been with, all that stuff, man. That actually scares me a wee bit. I don't know about this app.
When and why. Just, it's crazy. I mean, look, see, the consensus now that I feel about where we go after lockdown is test, trace, track, etc. It's things that have been happening in places like Germany and Korea with great success, where people who have shown symptoms register that they have shown these symptoms, and it then notifies the people they've been in contact and so on and so forth, and they get a data cluster of where the highest number of cases are, and they can quarantine that area rather than lock down an entire country. And it makes a lot of sense. The problem is that like we're nowhere near the capacity we need to be at in this country just now. I think on the 13th of March, the government just stopped its preparations for trace and test because they just didn't have the capabilities to meet it. Now we've got an app that has apparently cost something like £250 million to facilitate, has a lot of crossover between people who were either in and involved with Cambridge Analytica or were adjacent doing similar things on other projects and stuff like that. And we've also then got guys like Cummings who again have talked about herd immunity and austerity, and you're just going to allow them to essentially genetically potentially map the entire country, your whereabouts, your movements, who you're in contact with them, when you're in contact with them, how your health was at the time. Like, it needs to actually happen in some sense, but I don't trust this government with that type of data about me. And
we need to get the balance right.
Don't either.
We need to get the balance right, don't we?
We don't have the time for it. We're already, weeks behind the curve on this. You know what I mean? I mean,
if we thought that people were worried about Gordon Brown's ID cards, this app, man, like this is the thing, isn't it? Is that you're like, whoa, wait a minute, like I understand your
phone is now your ID card.
That again, that's yet another one of the sort of freedoms, and we talk about like liberties and stuff that people are just afraid to give away. I think that if we had any kind of track record, let's just say you're Swedish or you're somewhere where your government doesn't lie to you on a daily basis about what, like, I think you would be more willing to like, right, do you know what, during this crisis I'm willing to give that up, and I'm willing for this track and trace, and I've got nothing to hide. But it's, where does that end? Like, we were talking last week about the Patriot Act and how in post 9/11 they gave away, the Americans and the British gave away so much power to the government, and they've never ever gave it back. Well, like, we're 19 years down the line, and the laws are still in place. They can still do what they like, pretty much, as far as like that act's concerned.
I think they still are, because we talked the other week there about other countries that had forced in legislation under the provisos of COVID-19. It happened in the UK, apparently, with that Theresa May's Snoopers Charter that failed at Parliament a number of times, and now that they've got their majority and, you know, there's other stuff going on, they've just fired it through Parliament, apparently, and you're just kind of like, this is the thing. This is legislation that's failed a number of times already, and again, I've meant to chase it up. So apologies if I've got the wrong end of that one. But at the same time, you know,
but we need to.
It's not just these other countries, but people are going to use this as a proviso to put in powers.
Well, that's it. I mean, I sent you a video just before we come on air, and it was Mike Pompeo, who's he's one of the Chuckle Brothers that I was talking about, but he's going on about like the tyrannical Chinese government who downplayed this virus and blah blah blah. Well, your Teflon Don did it to try and protect the market and was talking about how the market's in great shape, and like this is where there's no difference. This is, we spoke about this last week. It's they've got an accent and they've got a suit, and they tell you that blah blah blah, and we're not like them, but ultimately, like you're saying, man, they're the exact fucking same. They're just
the first step at any sort of disinformation campaign is to accuse the enemy of exactly what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like that's no, it's not us, it's them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's exactly what I seen in that Mike Pompeo video, that he's one of their international representatives. Is, I mean, look him up, see if you're just bored and shit, like Google this guy, like his record is fucking wild. Like it would require its own podcast, but like he's a fucking nutter.
Right.
But for him to go, the CIA or the intelligence community have said this was all China's fault, for the reporter to go, no, they didn't. Like the wee guy out of Still Game, like pure, no, they didn't. And he was like, no, you're right, they didn't. But I still believe them. You know, like,
it's crazy, isn't
it took him, I think, 14 and a half seconds to change his mind. You know what I mean?
Aye. I mean, this type of government in America has now driven its people to the point where somebody gets shot in the head yesterday for asking somebody to wear a mask in a supermarket. Like a security guy went up to a woman and said to her, you need to wear a mask. She went out to her car, got her son and her husband, who came in screaming about liberty, and the son pulled a gun out and shot the guy in the head. And that is no bullshit. Seen that this morning. So this is where that country is fucking, this is where they're ending up. And they're ending up there because they don't know who to trust, they don't know where to turn, and unfortunately they've turned to an absolute fucking lunatic in Donald Trump in some sort of way to save their country. And
it's fucking grim.
It really is, man. It really is. It's a fucking horrible story. We've got a wee bit, I mean, we've got a bit to talk about when it comes to Venezuela and America, like a wee bit later on, but talking about people with shocking track records, did you see Michael Gove's bookshelf?
I did. I think this is going to sound like a defence of Michael Gove, but like, you do it when you listen to your fucking Alex Joneses and all these types of cunts, like the crackpot fringe, like conspiracy theorists and whatnot. Like, maybe he just does the same in book form. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
He's still a cunt, irrespective of what's on his bookshelf. You know what I mean? Like, just in terms of his policy and his actions. You know what I mean? Like, but I think that I'm probably willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. So slightly.
I read a couple of bits and pieces. Some of the rhetoric that's coming through the right is like, so you're basically trying to say that people can't read certain types of books, and again, the hard right or the alt right in this country, and it's been picked up in America as well, are saying like, this is the left showing that they're Nazis, like they're burning books. This is like modern day book burning because it's been done on a digital platform, right? And I understand that, right? So if somebody posts a picture of their bookshelf and they've been reading Marx and they've been reading I mean, like the bell curve or whatever it might be, right? I'm not looking at that and going, this guy's a fucking lunatic. I mean, he's clearly an educated guy, but one of the things that really did jump out at me is the one, it's basically like a book that's about like Europe and how like Islam is infiltrating Europe, and like the Trojan horse theory that is like kicking about. Michael Gove wrote a book himself called Celius 77, where he alluded to that. So I think I had a mini debate, I think you could probably call it, with like a mate who had said to me, had sent me a screenshot of a retweet that I had made about the Michael Gove stuff, and he'd said like, but so basically you're advocating that we shut people down for what books they read, and I was like, no, absolutely not. But what I do think we need to know is, when somebody has wrote a book that is about sort of the rise of Islamic terrorism and in Europe, and talking about like Trojan horse theories, is reading books for a Holocaust denier, is actively trying to like regain human rights in this country, we need to know that. I'm not saying that you should judge the guy, that you should look at his bookshelf and go, cancel this cunt, because look at the books that he's been reading. Because exactly what you said, I used that example. I watch some of the most batshit conspiracy theories on YouTube, and I read some shit where you're like, that is wild, and I'm not believing in that, and I might talk about it and like, I sort of like, this is interesting, but I don't believe it. But I think that you can start to sort of like piece together. Like, especially when there's a book on eugenics, there's a book on...
It feels like breadcrumbs.
It does feel like... It feels a bit like breadcrumbs. And another analogy that I used is that if Michael Jackson comes on the radio, I might not switch it off, but I'll tell you what, if I take a picture of my record collection, the Michael Jackson vinyl that I've got down there is not going to be in the fucking picture that I posted anywhere, because...
You're not posting your Gary Gather collection on Instagram, are you? You know what I mean?
Exactly that. When you see that type of bookshelf and you see the Strange Death of Europe and the Bell Curve and books by David Irvine, who was jailed for being a Holocaust denier, and it's a Tory, a guy that actively went out and campaigned for Brexit, wanted to take back human rights and redraw. Actually has come out as an advocate for capital punishment and has wrote a book about Islamic Trojan horses in Europe. Then you start to sort of raise an eyebrow, and that's why I retweeted it. It wasn't because I believe that Owen Jones is right, we should go out there and we should be like cancelling Michael Gove because he's read Mein Kampf. No, absolutely fucking not.
We should be grateful at people when they advertise their ignorance to us. Like, I think that when people shows what influences their thought process, and when they're involved in making these, thoughts into policy, into law, like understanding that journey and where they're at in their head is useful. So when they advertise their own ignorance or their own stupidity in that manner, like, I would say you should be grateful for it, probably in a certain respect.
Absolutely.
And this is why we shouldn't ban or burn books or, cancel folk for having, different thought processes or whatever it is, because, like, if you give people enough time, they will always show themselves up for who they really are. So
aye, absolutely.
You lose nothing by letting them do it.
Absolutely. Like, there's a nice analogy here on Flat Earth, where I watched Neil deGrasse Tyson be asked, why do you come out and debunk Flat Earth when there's a community that's building and there's such popularity around this conspiracy? And he said that the science is all there, and if they don't understand it, then they're idiots. And you're like, I get that. Like, I totally get that. But on the same token...
Don't ever argue with an idiot, they'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. You know what I mean?
But also at the same time, we need people to come out and tell us, like you're saying, they're batshit crazy ideas so that we can debunk it. And not just say that the people that believe in it are fucking idiots for believing in it. You know what I mean?
But I think in that sense, if some average guy is having a crackpot theory on the internet, it's probably for another average guy or woman or whatever to then go, mate, that's crazy. Like, there's levels where, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a renowned physicist and, astrologist and whatever else it is. Like, he's no really meant to be getting into arguments with some cunt with like 100 flat earth followers on YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, so I can see it in a sense. See if they had somebody who had the scientific sort of credos to actually go and debate it in meaningful terms, which is impossible because it's nonsense, then I would say, right, I have somebody of an equivalent sort of calibre like Neil deGrasse Tyson come and argue with them. But like Joe Blogs off the internet can get to fuck, you know what I mean?
Joe Blogs off the internet ends up Tommy Robinson, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the danger is that you should shut them down with your fucking intellect rather than just basically saying that they're a fucking idiot. Otherwise, they end up gaining followers and maybe even a movement of people.
Misguided people,
absolutely. It's been a couple of days, maybe one day, since we were talking about the situation that happened in Venezuela on Sunday. So if anybody hasn't actually hooked in with this story, I think it's an interesting sort of segue for the MKUltra stuff and the CIA, and I think it's a sort of black ops. That's what it looks like, and obviously, like we've got our doubts, and we'll talk about that in a wee second. But if anybody's not really hooked in with us, 13 terrorists were sort of like intervened by fishermen on the coast of, as crazy as that sounds, on the coast of Venezuela. 8 of them have been killed, leaving 5 of them. And
by the fishermen?
No, by like the Venezuelan secret police guys, like the guys in the sort of black helmets and the balaclavas.
The dudes for Call of Duty.
Exactly. But there's 5 of them left, and 3 of them are American. 2 of them are ex-Green Beret, which is
Okay.
you're like, okay, so they're quite high up within the military at one point in time. I love the quote for what's the guy that is the president of Venezuela?
What, Maduro?
Maduro, I came out and said that they were playing Rambo. It was it was a Rambo style attack to try and assassinate the leader of Venezuela, who's a military dictator.
That was scuppered by 8 fishermen.
Aye, isn't quite out. You can already hear the scepticism that's happening. There's links to Trump, like there's
I've got the pure image of the opening sequence for Hot Shots Part 2 where they're all like
I was going to say Naked Gun, but the exact same shit.
Running off the beach and like pure tripping over their own shoelaces and like shooting themselves in the head as they fall and stuff like
There's
that.
a bit in the second Naked Gun where he's swimming underwater in scuba gear and he farts and it alerts the people in the boat because the bubbles come up and stuff, but it was like that. But there's links to Donald Trump. So what's happened is that there's a guy called, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, it's Jordan Gushru, let's just say. I don't know if that's right.
Okay.
Fuck knows. But he runs a company called Silvercorp USA, and in his statement, he'd said that the goals of the force were to infiltrate Venezuela and spark a rebellion that would topple Maduro from power. So he's basically come out and went, aye, that's what we were doing, right? So, which is just, you're like, what the fuck? Like, this is what, so like a private business, right? This is where it gets really fucking weird. So he stated in this interview that he turned his focus to Venezuela in February 2019 after his company had been hired as security at a benefit concert in Colombia, Venezuelan border that was arranged by Richard Branson.
Okay.
So it's right. So this guy's company hired.
I've always kind of half suspected that Richard Branson would turn out to be a Bond villain. Like, so this could be what he's up to here. He's playing power games with like Central America via American corporations. There we go.
Potentially that. I mean, like, it was this guy's company was hired by Branson to go to the Colombian border and be security for a benefit, and then that's when his company turned their attention. So either they've met somebody while they've been doing that, or why it just seems like so strange. But anyway, other than that sort of conspiracy theory, this guy Jordan Gushru or whatever, he was hired by Trump. So he was like Trump's security. So there's like a slight link, and Trump's had to actually come out and say, I've got any involvement in this, and nobody within the government's got any involvement in this. But gone on sort of previous track record, like an American militia and of ex-Green Beret Marine guys getting into a South American country to overthrow their government just sounds so familiar to me. So many like Bear Pigs Mark II.
Here before.
It's so strange, man. What did you think it yourself?
To start off with, I think my first reaction with you was that it's kind of out of base playbooks here, where if there's been, and you never know what American companies are up to. Security firms have got huge amounts of crossover with like ex-military personnel, especially the highly trained guys. There's a big market for them. They can make a lot of money by comparison to their national service, if you follow me. Yeah. But like, who knows what they're doing? There might very well have been companies playing funny buggers for Venezuelan resources or whatever else, and you know the Venezuelan government has taken the chance to go, look, this is the Americans at it, sort of thing. So it would be pretty standard practice in base senses there. The one that really, like, as I read it, I was like, nah, I'm out, was the guy getting found with his passport. And you're like, if you've got 13 like special ops guys coming in under night onto the beach, get tripped up by fishermen, and they've all got their fucking passports on them, I was a bit like, right, okay, I can't imagine any actual overt American government action where they're sending them to date with their passports in their pockets.
That's the bit where I was like, wait a minute, man, that was the whole premise of a fucking 9/11 conspiracy documentary that I watched, was why were the passports there? Like, why were they, how could that be? Why were these guys cutting about with their fucking American passports? And apparently they had some like so this is where you start to get, where you either go down one route where you're like, this is bullshit and I'm just not even going to bother with it, and you start to go, why did they have that? Apparently they had American military patches like mission patches.
Okay.
So like, see, like, I hate to use it, but the bit in Armageddon where he gives him his mission patch and is basically like, give that to somebody, because every time they go on an official mission for the government, they get like some sort of like patch to say it's like the fucking Boy Scouts.
Right.
They apparently get found with these patches, and that's why the then Venezuelan government are starting to go, these guys are out here officially because they've got fucking mission patches, their passports, all their documentation, all thingies out. And then this Canadian, half American guy came out and was basically like, it's my company that's doing it, and absolutely, we were going in there to overthrow that government. You're like, that's wild. That's fucking wild. Like,
I've never seen that, but
I think that was Tuesday or Wednesday he came out and spoke about this, and you're like, that's, even if there's a US-backed opposition to this guy in Venezuela that, if you remember last year, they were calling foul in the election when Maduro won like his second sort of term or whatever, and Trump was out giving it sanctions and blah blah blah, and I think rightfully so. I mean, the guy's a military dictator in that country. Like, he's no legit. It's not a democracy, for fuck's sake. No. But the other guy who is backed by the Americans, it seems to be looking like it's had something to do with him, that he's had some kind of involvement. And when if you look back at history and like the Bear Pigs, the Gulf of Tonkin, all these bits and pieces, it does stink to high heavens, but also it's so corrupt in Venezuela, like, and why did they have their documents on them when they were doing it, and blah blah blah. So
it's going to be the basis for an absolutely amazing like John le Carre novel over the next couple of years that the BBC will, you know, make into a TV season for us, like, you know, murky spy shit going on in like Central American countries with American backing. Like, it is the stuff of a pure spy novel, so it is. Like, so I look forward to that one down the line.
Well, it's just that I mean, really, I pulled that sort of story out as a way of trying to sort of like not just talk about COVID for another hour and a half.
Oh, no, definitely.
But,
it's a cool story.
It's an interesting story, mate.
Having seen a number of them, I'm just of the opinion that these things are like deliberately murky so that, you know, all the various theories and whatnot, the noise running about them can then obscure the truth as much as, you know, the covert action did in the first place.
Absolutely, mate.
So they're great to kind of like see it. I did read through it and was like, this is just so strikingly familiar when it comes to America's relationship with like resource-rich sort of Central and Southern American countries. Like, they're taking, you know, advantage of chaos and, you know, stoking that chaos to their advantage when they can as well. You know what I mean? It's no new story, unfortunately.
No, that's it. I've got a question for you. How do you pronounce Elon Musk's Wayne's name?
Oh, is this the one where it's basically like a password, isn't it?
It's like one of the Apple passwords that it tells you, like, would you like to use the strong password? Like, Elon Musk, he's went in and fucking, it's been like baby name, and it's been, would you like to use this strong baby name? It's like, apparently it's pronounced the way you see it as like E minus 12.
Okay, so no weird then?
Definitely not. How, like, on a scale...
It is a bit of a fucking Fruit Loop, isn't it?
Aye, absolutely. If you've watched
that
the
one
Rogan...
takes the biscuit for mad baby names. Like, mad baby names are just... They're the pure height of celebrity. So it's because you're no... Don't get me wrong, you didn't get ordinary people copying it. You know, when they had the whole, like, Brooklyn thing with Brooklyn Beckham.
Aye.
I read an article a couple of years later for a New Zealand quote saying that for the first time in New Zealand history, because of this trend of naming people after where they'd been conceived, that for the first time ever New Zealand courts had to reject a name to like make it official because the couple had tried to name their way number 27 bus stop.
Yes.
Right? Honestly.
Brilliant.
So who the fuck knows that, you know, 18 months from now, what fucking AE asterisk minus fuck knows what will result in the actual general population. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I look forward to be honest with you.
Aye.
I think off the back of that story when it first broke, I remember reading through, and this is just how my brain operates, I needed to then follow the rabbit hole. I ended up on like the census website and looked up like Scotland's kind of, you know, new baby names for the year, and it's like a file you can just download it and export it to a Excel spreadsheet and like hang me the names, and in that year 6 people had called their way in Loki in Scotland.
Right.
So they had
Wow.
so there's Avengers in there, Star Wars characters, there's all sorts. So what Elon Musk calls his way in is we're going to have to start like finding out what the real, how to pronounce punctuation and stuff like that is.
Aye, but educating people with your baby names. But on a scale of 1 to Craig David, how bullied do you think this fucking Wayne is going to be, man? Like, it's going to be like insane. I mean, insane. But Musk was out tweeting Free America.
Its pals will just be like Westworld style robots.
Perhaps.
Just programmed to like make the Wayne feel cool.
Will Smith's Wayne's, which he'll fit in perfectly there. But
Is that not what I said?
But Musk was out giving it Free America. The other way. I think this is just a good example as to why we shouldn't listen to Elon Musk. Not only is he a billionaire with a failed car company, because Tesla have been bailed out so many fucking times. Like, see the idea that this is like he's a tech billionaire because of this car? No, he's not. He created PayPal and he's sunk so much money into that company and it has failed 3-4 times over. Like, that company's on the brink again and he's out getting it Free America, and he's an influential character. Like, people, he's one of these weird sort of characters that people do look to him as like a sort of beacon of intelligence because he's made all this money. But just simply
the history of that as well, with guys like Bill Gates and how they've been held up in, you know, jobs, and these types of guys, like, you know, really successful tech, you know, pioneers, they get held with a certain level of regard in our society by default, I think.
I think guys like
he does benefit for that.
Guys like Jobs and Gates were actually smart people. Zuckerberg stole his idea for a classmate. Elon Musk came from a millionaire family, and like these types of things. I think this is where we're now on like the 3rd generation of like the hoi polloi and the rich, and they've just shot out these absolute fucking idiots. And this is where we are in society. But I think like the name, the baby name alone should be the reason why we don't listen to Elon Musk when it comes to a virus or when we should come out of lockdown. He's cancelled. Yeah, he's absolutely cancelled. But there's another thing that he's cancelled for as well. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast and he took a draw of a joint, he didn't inhale, so fuck him. Like, he's pure, he's Bill Clinton, do you know what I mean? He's like, oh, I didn't inhale.
Look the part.
Aye, absolutely.
I think, you know, I know we obviously touched on America. I'm not going to do too much of the coronavirus there because, like you, I'm a bit fed up. But there was a couple of tackles for Trump this week. The first of which was, we talked about his press conferences recently and how obviously they just descended into like a fucking pit of hell, and he'd been taken off them. And because his ego is such that he couldn't then allow his staff to bench him, he went on like fucking some primetime news channel in one of the big White House rooms, sat at the chair and let 2 interviewers kind of come at him to try and justify why he'd been so bad, or why, you know, advice had changed, and, you know, kind of just basically try and explain why he'd been so shit. Throughout the course of that interview, he basically claimed that he'd had it worse than any other president, and actually dropped Lincoln by name. This is Lincoln that fought the Civil War and was laterly assassinated. Like, Trump was pure comparing himself with favourable to. So you're like, he doesn't know how to stop digging the hole. Like, and I thought, you went on there. I mean, you just be like face palm central with all his staff behind the camera, where you're like, you're going out there to fix this, and he's pure I've got it worse than that guy that freed the slaves and get killed for it.
I mean, I've seen that. I did see that. I seen that he'd said that I've got it worse than Abraham Lincoln. You're like, wow. Like, okay. But this is probably an indication of the next sort of move on the board. Is going to be the victim. He's going to move for the strong man, and we no cases and blah blah blah. And once it starts to really impact him, he's going to start then going to supporters and going, this is a takedown. Like, poor me. Like, that. Look at what's happened. I built the economy, and right before this virus, the economy, and you can hear it coming through guys like Mike Pompeo, or they're just going to come out and go, this is a deliberate attempt by the Chinese government to suppress all this information. It cost us lives, and we couldn't do anything about it. And you're similar to guys like Boris.
you then need to stand in front of them and go, you were fucking told in January, you were told in plenty of time, and you did nothing about it. I mean, America's still doing nothing about it. They're still they're hoping that it just passes by. Do you know what I mean?
I think in terms of that sort of tone and that sort of victimisation that he feels that he's been, subjected to, it kind of crossed over a wee bit with one of the other ideas that we talked about in recent weeks, where he was starting to debate why the federal government should bail out failing states. That kind of obviously worried us, because how can you be a country if you don't support every area of the country? But it went a bit further this week, where he actually tweeted about why he should be left responsible for bailing out states that were run by failing Democrats. And I was like, this guy is literally positing on Twitter, why should I make sure that my political enemies survive this? And like, that was fucking sinister for me. As much as he's a clown, and obviously, he's just stumbled his way through pretty much every part of this, as bad as possibly could be the case. But he's now using that as a preface to say, well, why should I help my enemies? So you're like, well, 6 months for an election, he's literally talking about letting the opposition just wither and die, and you're like, that's really not how democracies are meant to be run, man.
Exactly. Like, could you imagine if Boris went 80% for everybody going into furlough, but Liverpool, you voted Labour, so fuck you, I'm sorry. Or the SNP runs Scotland. Nah, you're all included in this. There would be uproar in this country. Yep. He's actually getting a doubling down. He's getting people going, no, you shouldn't.
What's there?
Aye, exactly. It's like the madness of King George, isn't it? He's lost it. The guy has absolutely lost his fucking marbles. And we're witnessing the unravelling. What I would imagine is like the worst case scenario when he get voted in, is that if he's hit with something that he needs to deal with, he's not going to be able to deal with it. He doesn't have the intellect, he doesn't have the brain, but what with every sort of, and again, every criticism that we've got to the Conservatives, and every criticism and every time that we are flagging these things about Trump, I know that quite a lot we do this on the podcast, we are sort of like, look at the state of that, and we're laughing at it.
Aye.
But it's costing people fucking lives.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's why really we're doing it. Do you know what I mean? Is because we're trying to point that out.
He's been pushing this week in America for the widespread unlocking and people going back to normal, at the same time as his own scientists are publishing that as of the 1st of June, they expect the American death rate to hit 3,000 people per day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So they're already at 1,750 when this report was published. So 1,800 people are dying a day in America. It's about to basically double as a result of the inaction that's already occurred. And his answer is going to be to try and unlock this country and make it even worse. It's incredible, like, as we talked about second waves and stuff like that, we're now seeing that pressure come to the fore in the UK in a big way. I mean, we had the People's Champion, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, who put everybody on the 80% furlough and protected everybody, who is now out talking about reducing the furlough to 60% and using the rhetoric of drug addiction to justify it, saying things like people need to be weaned off of furlough money, and people are becoming addicted to their furlough money, so the process would be to then reduce it, and the hope that they basically go and look for other jobs. And you're like, these people have already fucking got jobs.
What other jobs?
Aye, exactly.
What are you expecting them to do? I mean, that's crazy. I missed that. I completely missed that.
There was articles today about how it was the rhetoric, the drug rhetoric, as if we're all junkies, as if and this is what we talked about austerity 2.0 in recent weeks, as to how they use the press and the media to amplify their message and justify their horrors. And we've got a country of people who are locked in their houses because a virus has made it so. They've had to take the bare minimum action to protect people and still left millions of people without support. The furlough scheme of a UK population of 70 odd million people, you're talking about 6.5 million are affected by the furlough scheme. So it's not that they've went out en masse and protected everybody for this. You know what I mean? Like, but the people that are protected are now being treated the same way benefit claimants have been treated in the past, and how job seekers and so on and so forth, that they're now going to dehumanise or attempt to dehumanise these people for using the reduced money they're already on to pay rent and buy food. They're going to actually force people into, you know, bad debt, rent arrears, mortgage arrears, you know, like, to what prove an ideological point. You know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. So we're no out the woods here in terms of lockdowns. They're no in America, and the same ideology that has caused these mistakes is still pervading every aspect of the decision making that's going on in these two countries. And it's reflected in the figures that country 1 and 2 and the death rates of the UK and the US. Like, the decision making is there in the numbers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much longer we can deny it.
That's it, mate. I mean, that actually, like, makes me feel a wee bit sick that he's talking about fucking reducing furlough. Wean yourself off furlough. Go and find another job. Well, like, in what fucking world do these people live? Like, what are they expecting to happen? I think that they're, like you're saying, they're hoping that we do the same thing. We already seen it last week. We're hoping that we do the same thing that they did in America and just take to the streets and protest to go back to work. I need my job. Let me go back to work.
And now they're going to hold a gun to your head if you're on the furlough scheme and say, well, here's your choices to go back to a work that may unnecessarily kill you, or stay in the house on 60%. How long is your employer really going to put up with that? You know what I mean? Like, if you're choosing to stay on furlough at a reduced rate, that you then undermine your position with your employer by looking like somebody who is addicted to fucking money and all that other bullshit that they're actually starting to now feed out there. So you're in a no-win situation either way. You know what I mean? Like, this is a direct attack by the UK government on workers' rights in the middle of a pandemic.
Insanity. Absolute fucking insanity. Oh... Wow. We've been talking about the last sort of few weeks as well about how we can't just go back to normal, and we can't just go back to sort of normal life. And I mean, we've seen, quite frankly, like, a pathetic showing for people in this city. Like when Monday, when Costa Coffee opened a drive-thru at Braehead, and people were fucking queued around the block for a premium coffee. See, what? Why is anybody fucking driving down to Braehead to sit in an hour-long queue to pay £4 for the privilege of a fucking hot cup of fucking milk and coffee? Like, where are people's heads? This is where I think that you rightfully so back then were saying to me, like, it's not going to be like a big change for a lot of people. People are only going to reevaluate their lives. People are going to sit in their horns, wait to get told, right, off you pop. And like, people are tweeting McDonald's and they're going, when are you opening back up? We've had Burger King open, we've had KFC open, we've had Greg's talking about opening. Is this a priority? Is this the priority of people? Is fucking takeaway foods and coffees? Comfort eating and comfort drinking? Like, I understand that this is a tough time, right? And if you're struggling, I doubt anybody that's struggling was sitting in that fucking queue for an hour waiting on a coffee. If you're genuinely suffering, genuinely, like, can't deal with this, can't deal with, like, the change to your life, I doubt that you put your kids into a fucking Range Rover Sport and drove down to fucking Braehead and got a coffee. That is a bunch of people. I mean, I know that's a stereotype, but did you see the fucking photos, man? It was all Jeeps and Porsches and fucking Audis, do you know what I mean?
Fiat 500,
But it's literally like, look, the people that are there, right? Let's just say that Costa Coffee, give them the benefit of the doubt, Whitbread Group, whatever it is, and they went, look, let's get them open, and that means that the key workers and essential workers, if they're on their way to work, they can come in and they can get what is essentially a treat. But the people that are inside that Costa, they are literally in harm's way. Like, how can you socially distance inside a kitchen? Like, I've worked in McDonald's. There isn't room to swing a fucking cat. So how you think? I mean, you look at people at Tesco. You go to Tesco. These people only staying 2 meters apart. There isn't the room, and there isn't the provisions for them. They don't have PPE. So the people that work in Tesco understand people need to get food, people need to feed their families, right? If you work in the NHS, if you are driving a bus and a train, I understand this, but I'm sorry, I cannot get on board with Burger King, KFC and Costa Coffee opening back up for a bunch of fucking...
Fast food is not a necessity, you know what I mean?
100%, man. It's actually like, it enraged me. This is one of the things that when I wasn't feeling well, I was actually like, oh my fucking God, like, I can't believe that people did that. Like, I can't fucking...
When it got to the 40-minute queue, I could understand if you were out and about and, you know, your journey home, your journey to work, whatever, and you'd heard something had opened, like swinging by and being like, all right, it's quiet, I can drive through, grab a coffee on the way to work. I get that logic, even if you're not necessarily a key worker and it happens to be open. But to have like purposefully went there and then being like, this queue is 40 minutes long, and then joined that 40-minute queue for a fucking coffee, that's the logic that I question. I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what is you know, being alone with your own thoughts such a scary thing that you have to sit in a fucking 40-minute queue for coffee just so that you don't have to be alone with yourself, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, it was wild. And as I say, we've seen it, the open B&Q, you know, B&Q had the 2 meters outside on the car park, they were queued outside the car park, like, as places begin to open, you're going to see a lot of this, but like, we need to make sure that the people that are opening back up are actually legit. You know what I mean? Like, because what is the point in a lockdown if places are just choosing not to lock down? Like, I don't get the thinking behind that. You know what I mean? Like, we should be able to enforce and say, well, no, hold on a minute. The advice is still, you know, 3 weeks. So like, wrap it. Don't expose your people for coffee. Don't expose your people for hamburgers or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the juxtaposition that sort of bothers me. Is that how is it a lockdown if companies are allowed to just decide that they're not taking part in it?
100%. The chief executive of Pure Gym was on the news last night when I was watching it, and he was saying that they're essential because they help people with their well-being, and it's like, but okay, but also asking people to go into a cram gym and sweat. Like, people can work out in the fucking house. You don't need to go to Pure Gym to work out. Do some fucking press-ups or something if you really want to sort your mental well-being. But this is the type of bullshit Mike Ashley tried to pull, and now we're seeing it happening with other businesses. We're seeing it happening with other businesses now where they're trying to sort of make their own case for being essential in a time when it's like, no, what is essential to you is the money. Like, this is a clear and distinct showing of greed to me. Like, it's no, like, companies like Pure Gym, I'd put my money, I'd put my fucking everything on it, that they won't be going under, but they're chasing the profit. They know that the 3 months is about to end, and they've asked their because I go to Pure Gym and I go to the email, hold out for 3 months. If you pay your $9.99 for the next 3 months, we'll supply you with this app and you can work out in the house. After that 3 months is up and the predicted sort of lockdown time passes, people are going to start to reevaluate and go, right, I need to cancel that gym subscription because I'm not getting anything for it. And this is what Pure Gym's worried about. They're worried about, this is it, they're putting their business or their customers. If you genuinely want to see somebody like that values you as a customer, they're encouraging you to go back and work out in their fucking gyms during a global pandemic. Do you know what I mean?
There's been, I think it's another aspect of this new reality that we're just going to have to adjust to. And like, companies are not people as per, you know, what American justice system thinks, but at the same time, they are having to adjust their approach in a similar kind of way that I think a lot of us are. And I've seen quite a lot of this. I was sitting the other day watching the Bake Off just because I was scunnered and I was like, I want to watch somebody make cakes and see no food and make shit jokes.
It's brilliant.
Just tune out. But for the first time in months, I was subjected to adverts because on Netflix and the various other streaming services I use, I don't watch adverts. Like, I don't use the telly. It's all off of Fire Sticks and all the rest of it. So when I put the Bake Off on, being on 4Player, there was adverts. And it was odd to see, and we talked about this on episode 1, seeing how quickly people adapt their message. Like, Uber certainly have, for one. You know, they were like putting out adverts to say, thanks for not using us. And like, I seen some really weird shit fucking linked to coronavirus, where, you know, it's like, as you say, the treat to yourself and all the rest of it. And like, there was an advert for washing powder that referenced coronavirus. There was like stuff for just all sorts of stuff that is it wasn't like cleaning products, it wasn't medical stuff, it was like really random shit, you know what I mean? And you're just like, it almost felt like the way certain companies, when like Pride comes round, everything's all rainbows.
And then when
Valentine's Day comes round, everything's all, you know, bunnies and you know, Easter eggs, and then it's, you know, summer holidays, and there's this imagery, and it's like almost as if coronavirus imagery has now slipped into that rotation of things that we're told to consider when we're buying products now. And it was like, I was pure, that took them 4 weeks. Like, fucking well played to them. Like, some good production quality in here. Some like, one was the fucking Nationwide bank who were having people send messages to themselves 6 months ago, and it was all like pure really emotive and stuff like that. And you're like, you just did not fucking hang about jumping on this one, you know what I mean? So
no, definitely not. It's like the Bill Hicks thing.
They're definitely adapting, you know what I mean?
It's like Bill Hicks where he's pure, ooh, the indignation dollar, that's a big dollar. Do you know what I mean? This is the coronavirus dollar. The marketing teams, I mean, you can bet your fucking bottom dollar that all of these teams, when they get back together, they'll be like, right, so see for the next pandemic,
what's the message?
What's the message? How do we keep people engaged? How do we keep our customers engaged? Like, it's an unfortunate sort of aspect of the world that we live in, and it's just becoming more amplified because we're just sitting about, we're doing nothing, and you see all this stuff. But I genuinely despair that people's priorities during a global pandemic is, I want a Big Mac and a coffee. That makes me feel shit. It actually makes me feel a wee bit shit. But
then on the other side, when they're subject to advertising, it's pure, we know you miss your McDonald's at this time, but put the NHS first. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting it in the neck either way, whether they can go or no. You know what I mean?
Aye, absolutely, mate. Anyway, have you got anything else that you are? I mean.
I know we had obviously May the 4th the other day.
Oh, fuck yeah, so we did.
I've been a bit immersed in the Star Wars universe in recent weeks as a part of sort of killing some time. I watched the entire saga recently. I feel like episode 1 all the way through. I think I watched like 11 movies over the course of like 8 days or something like that.
How did you do it?
Just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or we're like solo, and I went with some internet recommendation about the chronology and all that kind of shit. I was pure geeky about it. Like, nice. I figured I'm a nearly 40-year-old guy. I'm probably never going to sit down and watch the entire Star Wars saga more than once. So, like, now is the time. You know what I mean? Like,
fair enough.
Well, I know. I mean, like, obviously the originals, you know, the 70s and 80s ones were amazing. Sections of the other, but I then moved on, so I tried The Mandalorian. I found it a bit dull, but I'm just kind of like amazed how much of my time in the last, say, 2 or 3 weeks that Star Wars has actually managed to take up. Like, the universe and the scale of it has become so massive now that you can actually like occupy weeks of your own time with it. I've even ended up chasing the fix into fucking computer games where I'm playing, you know, the Jedi Fallen Order, where I'm just basically running about like a mad bastard with a lightsaber, just chopping shit up, and it's amazing. But you know, the May the 4th stuff, I thought, it's amazing that even as no, but I mean, I kind of like look back. I'd already done all this as May the 4th came round. One of the guys in my team is texting me going, "Oh, have you bought, you know, Rise of Skywalker?" So this is another adult male texting me on the day that Star Wars came out on DVD to find out if like I wanted to also buy the Star Wars DVD, which was weird. And you know what I mean, like, it has this pull and this kind of like scale now that I find really amazing. You know what I mean? Like,
when Disney gets involved and touches anything, man, it just explodes, doesn't it? I mean, if you think about really how much of your time was taken up content that was created pre 2015, let's just say 5 years. Like, I mean, like what? A quarter? Like a quarter of it? Everything else has came in the last 5 years, and this saga is literally 45-year-old. And you're like, it's incredible. It's actually incredible. If you were to watch Clone Wars, if you were to watch, even if you were to go into deep Star Wars like Droids and the Caravan of Courage. Have you ever seen the Caravan of Courage?
Here, I've even played previous games, the Force Unleashed games, the Battlefront games. That, if I was to put a clock on how much time in my life I've spent on Star Wars, I'd probably terrify myself with it. You know what I mean? Like, right. But it was one of the ones where it was quite nice to actually like indulge in the nostalgia, like, because it was like a daily thing, and I was plugging away with wee episodes of Clone Wars and shit as I went, just because I was in pure full Star Wars mode. I almost sickened myself with it, but it was nice to like immerse yourself in that nostalgia for it. So it was, especially at a time like this, it was like one of these things that came along right at the right time, and seeing everybody else getting nostalgic in recent days, I was like, shit, I went through the entire Star Wars saga and like it didn't even register with me that that's quite a big like undertaking in terms of time. You know what I mean? Just, it was so enjoyable.
Aye, man. I mean, I love Star Wars, as you know, the same as the next gimp that fucking loves Star Wars. I mean, I'm not quite as bad as what some people that I've met, and I probably met people where I'm like, oh, I'm into Star Wars, and they ask me questions and they're like, you know, fuck all about Star Wars, mate, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? But I've watched as they come out in DVD, I watched the original trilogy, and then I've watched at different sort of stages. So when the Force Awakens came out, I watched the previous 6 movies, and then I've done that recently, but it's impossible. I used to try and do it like every sort of like big release, but it's impossible to do now because there's so much coming along, like you're saying, the Mandalorian and stuff like that. See, if you really want to get into it, man, I'm going to send you a YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel out there where the guys actually made a lightsaber. Like a real lightsaber out of a titanium pole, a battery pack, and the fucking heat goes up and the thing glows red and it cuts through shit. Yes. They've made a blaster. They've made Batman's suit and his weapons. Like, these guys are fucking incredible.
You're going to get me back in territory. My Facebook is just going to show me cunts making swords again. So it is.
Aye, but these guys they made Han Solo's blaster and stuff like that. They're legit. They're legit geeks. They're legit sort of. I don't even know what the fuck. I mean, they've just got workshops and they work away at stuff. But I'm jealous, man. I think I'm probably going to go. I was sick last week. Sean must have been feeling sorry for me, and she said to me one day,
just watch Star Wars one more time.
Well, she was saying to me, when I was sitting questioning my mortality, sitting pure, I need Yoda. But she said to me, she must have been feeling sorry for me. She said to me, do you want to put on Star Wars? And she doesn't like Star Wars, and I was like, do you know what? No, I don't want to. It was just because my fucking head was gone. I didn't know what to sit down. But I'm getting, like, as you're talking about that there, I'm getting jealous, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go. The way I watch it is 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll watch the other ones. Right. I always start with A New Hope, because I find that watching the sort of shiny tech and then getting through back into the dark ages with like A New Hope, I'm just always like, ugh. So I start there. But
I think I was alright with the story. I mean, I remember going to see episode 1 in the cinema as a late teen and like taking lightsabers in from my mate's wee brother and shit like that. So I did watch the first one. I know it is basically a kids movie, but they did kind of ruin it by throwing like galactic politics in the mix when they should have just stuck to lightsaber fights. But the second one, I did find myself skipping through sections of the love story because it's the worst love story of all time. But for then on, as I said, I wanted to do them in like the chronological order for some reason, just because the last one was finally kind of out. Obviously, the originals are phenomenal. I'm controversially a bigger fan of Return of the Jedi than Empire Strikes Back.
Right, okay.
Empire Strikes Back is probably technically a better movie, but I just love the fucking final battle between good and evil. That's what I'm after in a trilogy, is just the pure, let's get to it, let's see who wins. The newer ones, again, first one a bit nostalgic, second one was out there. I didn't hate it. You know, I don't take them as seriously as an adult as maybe some other folk do. When people were talking to me about how, you know, laser beams can't bend in space, you're like, dude, maybe you're taking this a bit too seriously. Like, just, there's some lightsaber fights, some shit blows up. Let's just go with it. You know what I mean? Let's just simmer down. But with the last one, I was a bit like, this is not how it should have ended. But at the same time, I'm like instantly over it. I'm no like starting a blog or like I'm no splintering off into my own fucking, you know, the Rebel Alliance City podcast to like complain about how bad the last one was.
Oh
or
mate,
like that.
I'm 100% because of May the 4th in this conversation. We've got to name this episode the Rebel Alliance City podcast episode, whatever, just for May the 4th.
There
dude.
we go.
But anyway, dude, it's been another like good cathartic thing, I think, this is me finally getting back to like sort of fitness, and like I've worked out the last couple of days and I'm feeling good. But it's been good to talk to you, man. And I really
you too, man.
Thinking about it earlier on, man, just as I was getting ready to do it, I was like, I just miss having you here, and like
I miss being out of the house, and just in general now, and that is like against, you know, everything that makes me who I'm. Like, I'm quite happy to just chill in my own wee time and space, but like getting out and having that process is something that I'm definitely starting to miss.
So hopefully we can, I mean, this has been a success as well with the Skype video, so hopefully we can maybe get somebody to come in and Skype in with us maybe in the next couple of weeks or two, the next week or two. It'd be interesting to hear from Jamie, maybe Jamie Cook or Paul Sweeney or somebody like that about what's
the universal basic income stuff.
Aye, so we'll maybe reach out to a couple of people. But again, mate, another week.
I might need some options if my furlough money gets cut to 60% in the next few weeks. You know,
try and monetize the podcast. We need to monetize.
Let's get UBI pushed right now. You know,
too right, mate. But anyway, thanks very much for coming on again, buddy.
No worries, mate.
Cheers.
I made a promise to whom will not to you, so stop the party. I tried to reconcile a life I lived a while, just stop the party. To call my own, we'll end up burning bridges sat upon a selfish throne. I will march along this path of ambitious, forceful ties. I'll be dead before it crashes down before my eyes. I know we'll make it through smiles and trials of fire. We'll make the party. I see right through it, the great deceptive fate you call a party. To call my own, we'll end up burning bridges sat upon a selfish throne. I will march along this path of ambitious, forceful ties. I'll be dead before it crashes down before my eyes. There is a life I can see. No